on a fire is something that I really enjoy. It's nice to just get the cast iron out and throw it on the fire, and there's just something more primitive about it that's really enjoyable for me. So what we've got going this morning, there's 4 of us out here. We were actually guided here, lucky enough to have Coyote Works himself bring us out to the spot, and we got Renegade. I think he's visiting from the Ozarks or something like that. So anyway, I'm gonna cook us up a little bit of breakfast. So we're gonna do a scramble. We've got some bacon, some onions, some eggs. We're gonna throw it all together and see what we can come up with here. We've already cut our bacon up here just into kind of small chunks. Got some onion diced up. We've got our cast iron, a little bit of butter. We've got the good old Mora knife, which if nothing else is real good for cooking. And most importantly, we've got coffee. I don't recommend doing anything in the morning when you're out in bush camp without a coffee. Here we go. Real simple, guys. A lot of people overcomplicate cooking. Don't recommend that. It's very primitive, very easy to do here. So what we're gonna do is throw our cast iron right on the flame. We've got a good little bed of coals here. Try to get our pan as level as possible. Throw a little butter in there. Then you're just going to dump everything in there. You'll notice that I frequently use tin foil out in bush camp or anytime we're camping, really. It's real handy for all kinds of things. Last night we did stuffed peppers, Renegade style, and Renegade wrapped the peppers in tin foil and set them right on the coals. It was a great way to cook. We're going to use this a few times while we're making the scramble here, so we're going to save it. All right, so our bacon and onion mixture here is about 3/4 of the way cooked. So Coyote Works is a very skilled and seasoned mountaineer and bushcraft guy, and he's an exceptional forger. He's been out all morning. I haven't seen him for a while. Came back by a few minutes ago, and he actually dropped off some wild high mountain potatoes for us. So since he was able to find those, we're going to go ahead and add those high mountain wild potatoes to our mix here. I'm pretty sure these grow under tamarack and pine trees, though I'm not quite skilled enough to know exactly how to procure them yet. I'll definitely be talking to Coyote Works a little later to find out where you can dig those potatoes. We're just gonna mix this up a bit. We're gonna add eggs. Cook the eggs in a little bit, and then we're gonna top it all with cheese. Throw the tin foil on it to let it melt up real good. And then we're gonna eat us some breakfast.
Little monkey.
So we've got our good friend Renegade here from the Ozarks, and we've got our new adventure pal. You guys probably saw in our last outing, we picked up our little buddy here. His name is actually Looper Renegade, and he's named after Renegade here from the Ozarks, who happens to be his dog father. So we're definitely learning that adventuring is a little different with the little guy around. He's about 4 months old. And for the most part, he's a pretty good guy, but he can also be a pain in the ass. So, Renegade, what have we figured out so far? Maybe some difficulties of having a little puppy around.
You definitely got to keep your eyes open, make sure the hawks don't come down and swoop off with him. And keeping him out of your bacon is a very big plus.
Yeah, he ate about a half a pound of Coyote Works bacon this morning, and he's also known for finding any random doesn't seem to be discriminatory on animal shits. So he tends to like to munch on those things. But for the most part, he's a lot of fun to have around. And
he's gonna be an expert proctologist someday.
Yeah, and he really likes his Uncle Renegade here. All right, so we got our potatoes cooked in with our bacon and onions here. We got them spiced up pretty good, and we're gonna go ahead and add our eggs. So I wanna take this opportunity to talk about this little K-Bar spork here just for a minute. You know, we got this from Todd at Prepper Up in Prineville, Oregon, and it's kind of a funny little novelty tool. First of all, if you don't like sporks, we don't like you. Second of all, if you don't trust K-Bar, you're not an American. So one of those things where it's real easy to pass up. We had to go ahead and pick this up just because the idea that K-Bar makes a spork is hilarious, and we wanted to try them out. So Thunder Bunny and I actually both have one of these. I don't think I've used mine. Thunder Bunny uses hers all the time. It goes to work with her. She eats lunch at work. If she needs to, open it up. It's actually got a relatively sharp little knife for being some kind of polymer. Thunder Bunny's well versed in shanking and the juggler with this thing, so it kind of doubles as her lunch buddy and her juggler stabber. So she used this to just mix up about 9 eggs and a little Pathfinder cup here. Actually, I can see there's the marking in here. There is 2 cups of eggs. There's 16 ounces in here. So all you do, guys, is just dump it in and mix it up. And you got a real hot pan. You want to be relatively quick, keep things cooking, moving around. Remember the name of the game here is Scramble, so just kind of roll with it. You know, again, this isn't rocket science. It's about as old school as you can get cooking. The only thing that predates this probably is just cooking meat on a stick. So cast iron is a really great medium to cook in. It heats real evenly. It's relatively easy to clean if it's seasoned properly, and it's durable. You know, if you needed to, you could use it as a defense weapon against any marauders that might be out and about trying to steal your scramble, against any puppies that might be trying to steal your bacon. So so we're ready for the cheese here, and I'm getting pretty hungry. So we're gonna give this stuff one last flip. We're gonna just cover it with cheese. Then again, we're going to use our tin foil for a third time. We're just going to cover this whole deal and let that cheese really melt on there. So I want to take a minute and talk about random pieces of kit that you might end up with. This is just a random, I think it's made by Weber, the barbecue company, just a random stainless spatula that I've had for years and years and years. And if you do this stuff all the time, you can acquire some real fancy kind of nice stuff. You know, grab a titanium, you know, custom fully automatic spork and all these crazy things that are made now that there's new technologies for kit. But this thing's just followed me around for years. It works great. It's easy to clean. Sometimes I spank Thunder Bunny with it just for the hell of it, and it gets the job done. So don't think that you have to have all the fancy gear to go out and do this stuff. Sometimes all it takes is an old spatula you find in the shop and a cast iron pan. Wow, look at that. That's a real nice looking finished product there. So looks to me like it's breakfast time. Let's eat. So the real test here will be Thunder Bunny trying it out. Something about breakfast out of a stainless steel cup and pigtails and the American flag that says it all. Back to my love for tinfoil. Same piece of tinfoil that we use to prepare food on. We used it to cover the pan to get the cheese to melt a little bit. We're going to use it again just to clean the cast iron pan here. I feel like a lot of people struggle with cast iron, complain about it being difficult to deal with, maintain, or clean. It's about the easiest thing to keep up there is. So as long as you keep it oiled, you keep it clean, don't use soaps or detergents in it, it's pretty easy to deal with. So we had a bunch of cheese and other kind of nasty sticky shit in here, and all I really did was I threw it back on the fire, threw a little bit of water in there, used the spatula to kind of scrape along as it heated up, and it cleaned the spatula, cleaned the pan pretty good. Generally, I would just wipe it out with a rag or a paper towel if you have any with you. A lot of times we'll use a fir bough from a fir tree or a tamarack tree, dry pine needles, whatever you have. Back to the tinfoil, it's a really good tool to just kind of get the last little bits of stuff out. So, you know, another purpose you have for it, you're all done cooking, keep your tinfoil, use it to kind of scrub your pan up, give it one last little rinse out, throw it on the fire, make sure it's dry, don't put them away wet. They will soak up water just like they will soak up oil. So being a raw metal, a cast iron, it will rust. So throw it on the fire, it'll steam out, dry out, pack it away, and these things will literally last you forever.